Hello, friends. Welcome to Sunkworks, episode 36. I thought I was broadcasting for like half an hour, but apparently we forgot to push go live or something like that. So, um, so you missed the theme song. That's the bad news. It was it was amazing. Uh, we played Sugar High, just in case you're wondering. Okay, so today we have an agenda. We're going to try to get to it a little bit faster. Right, okay, so we've got our document camera, and I want to show you this cool book. That's by Kris Nóva. And I just realized this document camera has a light, so that might actually make this work a lot better. We have some light. Okay, so if you haven't seen this book before, this is one of my prized possessions. And I'm very pleased to be able to share it with you today. See, this has a early adopter here, 0.0.1. Okay. So like any good book, I recommend you start with a table of contents. And go ahead and highlight the things that look interesting to you, because you're probably going to want to read those first. You don't have to read the book in order. That advice came directly from the author. So I'm revealing probably more than I should by showing you what I've highlighted. Some of what I've highlighted anyway. And we're not going to read the entire book. We're not going to start with the foreword. There's a chapter in particular that I want to read. Maybe if you want to go back and read this, I'll do my best to get a good shot of each. I mean, it's a nice book here. I'm not going to show you every page, though. That would be against copyright. You shouldn't ever go against copyright. No. So, let's see. I wanted to at least address the first 2 or 3 chapters before we dive into the third one, called Collaboration. Here. And actually the 4th chapter is my favorite, but we're not going to read it today. It's the one about ethics, which I found fascinating as someone who identifies at least as on the spectrum. I don't know. I'm not trying to make this a emotional stream here, so we're gonna skip ahead to chapter 3 here, and there's a lot of really interesting stuff in here. I recommend you pick up a copy of this book. They're still being printed, as far as I'm aware. You can buy them. You won't get a 0.0.1 edition. You'll get an edition with several small errors that you might see in this chapter already corrected. I haven't compared the versions, but I do have 2 copies of this book. It's a nice book. Okay, so this is the chapter I want us to read today. And I'm not exactly sure how to do this. I've obviously done this before, reading, but not like this and not in a while. So I tried to make sure I'm getting my microphone squared away here, so at least you can hear me well if I'm going to be talking at you. And feel free to mute and just go ahead and read this for yourself if you'd rather just read. You don't have to listen to my voice, but you'll have to cope with my page timing. Sorry, I'm a slow reader. And it's going to be difficult to resist to stop for commentary, because I'm probably going to be fascinated by every part of this, and I'm going to want to add my own color to it. But I will try to resist. Okay. Just bring you the straight dope. Okay, Chapter 3, Collaboration. Excuse me. My desk is not quite arranged optimally. I have to fix this. Yeah. This is... We're just going to read silently. Sorry. Sorry, I'm still getting the hang of this here. So I'm understanding now that I need to have the live view over here, so I can tell if I have the framing right immediately and fix it if I do not. Sorry, I'm still getting the hang of this here. Okay, great. We got through chapter 3 on collaboration. Um, Sorry for anyone who's visually impaired. I did not read out loud, but the number of viewers I have, I hope that can be forgiven. Okay, great.
Oh, shit.
Got okay. Yeah, so I've got a bunch of preview screens up so that I can see what I'm doing effectively, and you would not know from how. Sorry, just a second here. I think I need to get some new lighting. All right. I'm going to try this one more time. We're going to pick a slightly different green. Maybe that one. And lower the similarity index until, oh god. Maybe not that one. No, no. What about that one? That's kind of good. What if we, oh god. See, that's the same color as my eyes. This is not a good shirt to wear with this either. I'll try one more color here. What do we have? This one? Oh, well, no, it's not working at all. What if we go back to straight green? Crank the similarity until it starts to pick up the background. How come we don't have... Well, that's pretty good. I think that might be it. Well, that's as good as it's going to get for today. All right. Yeah, so we did have a couple other things on the agenda here. Let's see. Oh, thank you. Coffee. It says one watching now. I think that's me. All right. Yes, so get the document camera out of my face. Sorry. Maybe we can get a little bit better lighting here. Is that gonna clear up the... I'm sorry, I'm really obsessing about this camera thing. We got so close, I feel like. Filters, right? Smoothness, similarity, 469. Smoothness. That is actually better. One more thing. So I'm oversaturated now, so maybe I can take some of that key color spill reduction to look less oversaturated. Just brings my nose out, huh? That's What if I bring the similarity up just a little higher? Nope. 500. 500 is the limit. Any higher than 496 and we start to lose pixels. Right, but we bring smoothness down even further, we'll keep more of them. Right, we raise the smoothness, start to lose too many pixels. But the key color spill reduction brings them back to some extent, right? Right. Spill reduction, smoothness. That's pretty good. Oh, probably be better without this fill light now, right? Oh, not hardly. Nope. Maybe that's better. Just turn it away. Put it like right there. Okay. There's a little green in my coffee mug. That's cool. Thanks, Octeto. All right. Static site. Okay, so yeah, let's see. We did this static site thing. So a few episodes ago, we talked about websites going down, right? And we had an example of a website that went down, and it was not the example we're going to see again today. We see a new one. So we put this website back up, and I'm going to show you in brief how we did that. Although there are some caveats. So we put this website back up, right? Because we had some complaints from people that the website having gone down made it very difficult to install Weave GitOps. And while that is true, it is a pretty drastic oversimplification of the problem. But also, I don't want to be a jerk, so I just want you to see the webpage if that's what you wanted to do. Right? I don't want to give you a hard time about our company closing down, try to shake you down for money or whatever. That's not what I'm here for. So, of course, this comes from github.com, Weaveworks, Weave GitOps. So this is the public repo, and there are, in fact, some more public repos now. And I'm going to show you some things that say MPL. I've been instructed to say that those should not be MPL. They are all supposed to be Apache at this point. So if the MPL license is a deal breaker for you, please don't turn away in disgust, because, all right, this is what I wanted to show you. Here, the enterprise repo that was somewhat hastily open sourced without a great deal of review. So I've also been instructed to apologize for the things that you might find misspelled or comments that we didn't mean to be public. I haven't seen any egregious examples of this so far, but they should be in there because we haven't had a real concerted effort to review all this stuff before reviewing it, before releasing it. So am I recommending or not recommending that you should use Weave GitOps? I refrain from answering at this point. That color is really washed out. I have to fix it. Sorry. Key spill reduction here. I don't want to look so sick there. Now I just look red. It's probably better than looking sick. More true color. Yes, I'm deflecting is what I'm doing. I don't want to falsely give anyone the impression that they should have faith in Weave GitOps. I'm sorry, there's something I have to check on here. Why do we have a much bigger desktop behind the desktop? What desktop is this? It's the other one. It's this one, right? No, it's this one. Okay, just want to put it back in the center. I'm sorry. I moved all my profiles from my old user account today. I learned how to use a profile export in OBS, which I think everyone should know how to do, but now I know how. Great. Let's put this back where it goes. All right, try to get less distracted and more on topic here. Okay, so we're not talking about Weave GitOps today, right? We're just talking about the website. So I did want to show you where that website comes from. Here, website. And you can see there are some instructions for how to set it up locally. Why would you set it up locally if you were developing the website or something like that? It says here you should use emojis and colorful admonitions if you're developing a website. All right, so use 2 tabs, 2 spaces, not tabs, per indentation level, right? YAML parsers may complain. So there's a lot of instructions here I did not read. There was one in particular I did read, I wanted to highlight here, this one. Do not attempt to deploy the docs manually. So I went and looked at this workflow. What workflow is this? Workflows. Docs.yaml. What was wrong with that link? Main website, GitHub. Ah, okay. It was not an absolute link. Okay, so this is the actual workflow that they want you, who is they, I don't know, whoever wrote that document, want you to use to deploy the website. And so we did that, and then the Google Cloud account got shut down that was paying for that, and it no longer functioned. I guess there's a Cloudflare account that's still in effect. So anyway, what we did, we read through all of this. I see that there is something called a staging release and a prod release. I went right for the prod release. I looked up these GA key and Algolia key. I did not actually, I don't know if we followed this one. Max old space size. Let's read. What does that do? I just want to know. All right, so I guess the answer is if we're running on a low memory system, we might need to trim max old space size. I don't know if this is the default value. As memory consumption approaches the limit. All right, so bottom line, there is an NPM, a Node.js process that runs to build the website. Okay, yarn install -- frozen lock file, yarn clear, and yarn build. I did not run these commands in order, but we're going to try them now. I think we can do that, right? Yes, you see here is my new terminal. I don't have my lovely PS1 settings. I haven't figured out how to convert them, if necessary, to ZSH. And I'm too embarrassed to set my terminal shell back to bash. I think modern people use ZSH, and I should just get with the times. I don't know. So in here somewhere, oh, it wasn't any of these. Might actually have done this over here. Yes, here we go. Spin. Docs. All right. So we've got two branches running here. We've got this main branch and this spin it back up branch that only have a minor difference between them, which we'd like to keep that way. So I guess what we'll do is anything we're rebuilding, we'll build on a branch, then merge it into main, and then rebase this branch on that. So if you've never used Spin before, it's kind of neat. Cloud.fermion.com, you can see these two that I deployed here. So there's one at docs.microscaler.com, and there's one at gitops.weave.works. And here's the gotcha. If you remember, these docs used to live at docs.gitops.weave.works, and for some reason now they can't do that anymore. So we've gotten a few requests. Let's see. This one has more requests. It's been up for longer. We're not trying to capture as much traffic as possible. If we were, we would have already figured out how to do docs.gitops.weave.works where the site was hosted previously. Most of the SEO and existing links would point there. But we have it hosted on these two URLs, and we can see how many requests they're getting over time. And it looks like we'll probably come in under the free tier limit, which is cool, unless there's a major influx of traffic to either of these. Then I might have to take it down again, or pay my friends at Fermion Cloud, or come up with a plan. I think we actually do have a plan for how to make this cheaper, but it might depend on you all not finding. I don't know. So what I wanted to do, I think, was to explore that. Right? We had. What did we say? Sorry, we've got. So we've got the website back, so we can use it. There are some limitations. Yeah, it does kind of say here that we were going to solve the problem today. But I don't really want to solve it right here because I'm afraid of testing in production, right? I'm afraid of what's going to happen to my new shiny production instances if I'm testing with them directly. And I kind of want to take I'll look at the Flux website and see if we can deploy it in the same way, right? So I only get 5 of these. So I'm going to delete some apps here. Delete this app because it's cloud start and it's not important. I think we should see this. It's nice. We did not finish this website, but we did start it. Just get a little bit of room here. What is this one? Is it docs? No, it's the blog. Oh, so we already did the blog this way. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Yeah, so what I think I want to do is actually another website. Yeah, I want to do some testing of the Flux website. We've had to make some changes in the calendar thing. Don't really know about Python, but I learned that when you use venv, here we have Python 3-mvenv, use venv on the current directory, you get some files in bin. Here, I'm going to delete all these just to show that they should come back. Right, they're not in the Git repo. I'm going to remove this other stuff that's not in the Git repo. Right, okay, so when we run with our site installation of Python, venv, on the current directory, we get some things in bin. Bin Python hack import calendar. All right, and so we just dumped our entire VM, so we don't have any modules now. So bin pip3 install. I think that's how you do it. No? No, you don't give it a -F. Why would you need a -F? No, it's -R, of course. There. And that is how you make a local Python installation, right? And there we can see that pprint output from the here pprint. So when we run the script normally, it does not have any such output like that. It just makes this file, I think it's calendar.yaml, right? Oh man, is shift tab not? No. What the hell? Yeah, it makes this YAML file, this lovely YAML file, where we now have something that we need. The full timestamp. Okay, so we can parse, so we can deposit it somewhere in the web format. Somewhere it will be invisible to the naked eye, but somewhere that we can parse it and turn it into a local time for you in your local time zone. So there's two widgets we want to build. I think I'm going to consider them as widgets, independent widgets, because they each have rational structure that makes sense independent of the other, I think. So we need one thing that I'm calling the time zone picker widget, which we're just going to use a little bit of JavaScript, and if that fails, we're going to be prepared for it to fail, and it should give us a null response, no time zone, right? If we don't know what time zone it is, then we'll just show you GMT, and we'll give you the picker, so you can choose what time zone you want to see. And you should always get the picker, assuming that JavaScript is enabled, because we should be able to present you with a picker that you can choose the time zone you want, and that time zone will be the time zone that's displayed. And it should be automatically populated. Probably your browser has profile information that will tell us what time zone you're in. So we don't really need to guess most of the time if you have JavaScript enabled. But we're talking about progressive enhancement because that is still a big if. Lots of people don't have JavaScript enabled. It's not the safest thing to do on the internet. I'm not saying it's unsafe, right? Browser sandboxing is pretty good today, but it's not the safest thing to do, is a pretty hard to argue with, right? It would be safer to have no JavaScript at all, because then you just have an HTML file, and that's one less thing that can go wrong. So it's not really value judgment. It is maybe important to have JavaScript, like for this purpose. I've harped on this before because I thought this was important before, and I was shouted down. No one shouted me down. It's just hard to do this without breaking everything. But so you have the widget for the time picker, and let's assume that JavaScript is enabled and the browser is able to detect your time zone correctly, and we don't have to do anything with the picker. It just has the right value in it. So the picker, choosing on the picker should have the ability to trigger some action, right? So if you choose a different time zone to display, then that should trigger a refresh of all the displayed times in that time zone. Anything that has a time code that we can recode to show your local time, we should do. So by default, it's going to display, by default, it's going to display raw HTML that will be in GMT, because we can't predict everyone's time zone, and we don't want to give you the wrong time zone if we're not able to guess. But then once we have a time zone selected and we know JavaScript is enabled, we are going to replace all of the GMT times with a current time in the current local time zone. So it so happens that all of these times are GMT times. So that's convenient. It would be possible to construct this without that timestamp field, but we have a whole source data here that we can use, right, to produce the local time without assuming that the source data is GMT, because this could change. We don't know if we'll start getting delivered. I mean, if you look upstream, the source data is not GMT. It's in a local time zone, right? The Fluxbug America's Late is scheduled in America East time zone. So I'm not sure what happens to the data between here and there to get it munged in the way that it is. But this is the America's Late, and it is 1700 GMT, which must be 11 a.m. Is that right? No, 1 p.m. 1 p.m. Eastern. And here's our Buck Scrub AEST. That's 5 p.m., I guess, Eastern U.S. time. So this timestamp information is going to be encoded with each. Here, let's see. I want to test this and see if we can actually build it. Because, well, okay, all right. So we have two different things going on here. So we have our widgets that we want to build, but we also have our build environment that we have to cope with. And I guess that is controlled by the make file. So if we look at our Netlify job, right, this is the production build. It just calls a build hook. So this runs netlify.toml, which sets the Hugo env to production, and then runs make branch build for the main branch and your backport branch, I guess. That's how this works. Sorry, I have to edit my profile because I just realized I don't have a setting that I want, and I did it on purpose. Wait, report mouse wheel events. Enable mouse reporting. Alright, so that's a Vim setting I have to figure out then. I was told to try NeoVim to change. It's so hard for me to change my editor. Unless I do like alias vi and vim to nvim, it's just not going to happen. And every time I type vim and neovim comes up, I feel like I'll be surprised. Anyway, so that command was make branch build. There's make production build. How does that get used? Never does. Wait. Make production build. But I think what really happens is make branch build, because we're on a release scheme. We have a version release, so the publish docs website is the latest minor version. So anything that goes to the main branch typically if you want it to show on the website, it has to be backported to the v2.2, v2-2 branch, which there's a label for achieving. It's very easy. It's not as hard as it sounds, but so we've got a we've got a requirements.txt here. We've got looks like we might have a venv already. Yeah. All right. So we'll do the same here. I haven't read the instructions, but I think this works. Bin pip 3 install requirements. And there's no clear here. Make clean. No. We have build directory, right? Is that where the output goes? Make sure we have the latest everything. And we try production build. Okay. It says no module iCalendar. I know there's something like put. I don't know what I'm doing here. Import calendar.py. Local py path. From my calendar import. I don't know. I don't know what this is. All right, we're going to read the instructions. We helped write the instructions. We should read them if we're having trouble. It says make serve. You need the Higo site generator, JQ, Node.js. It does not say anything about Python. So env Python 3. Is this really how you do it? Oh, it absolutely is. It absolutely is. No flux version found matching main. All right, so one thing we need, we have a script here for copying GitHub token from a place Sorry, have to remember how to get echo GitHub token pb copy. And then it's like read-s, right? Or I could just do export GitHub token equals pb paste. I think that will work. Beautiful, beautiful. Get that out of my clipboard. So we've got a builder. It's called Hugo. And I don't know where the JavaScripts come from, but I'm assuming they're not built independently. So if you subscribe to this no build nonsense, which I don't know if it's nonsense or not, I'm just rolls right off the tongue, no build nonsense, then maybe that's good. I'm sort of assuming that I have the right version of Hugo. I think there's a bit more to building this locally. It looks like that's the right version. What's this? What's this? All right, so it's not no build. That's what it is. We have an SCSS file, main.css, SCSS that breaks file to import not found or unreadable. All right, so look at the makefile, bootstrap, vendor, nothing about vendor or bootstrap. What about in the docs? Nothing about, all right, cool, cool, very cool. I have no idea what is wrong with this. What command actually failed? Was it Hugo? Found no layout file for search index for kind page. That looks like warning. Error building site to CSS. Where is this file? All right. So something fails in Doxy module, Hugo cache modules, file cache modules, package mod GitHub, Google Doxy, assets, SCSS main.scss. File to import not found or unreadable. Can it be that I just have not installed the node modules? Yarn, not found. Hugo mod. I had no idea that was a thing. Is that going to help? Now it does say here it was downloading modules already. Start building sites. Oh, warn params is deprecated. This is a different set of errors than before. That's good. That might be good. Well, no, not good, I guess. Error copying static. Well, this is different. Okay. This is great, actually. Sudo chown-r. I don't know why we would have permission denied, but we certainly should be able to try that again. Error copying static files, permission denied. Alright, I think this public directory is the output. And it looks like it just has some read-only permissions set. I'm not sure how they got that way. But yeah, the public directory was it was output. It was not a, looks to me. Anyway, let's try again. This is the same error that we had before. Well, it did regenerate the public directory. We've got public kubecon index.html. kubecon.md. I've never seen this file here before. I know that I made this file, but it seems strange and foreign to me. All right. Okay, all right. So there's a git ignore. Content en. And there's a git ignore here. We can also add jk lmnop KubeCon, K, if G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S. Don't really know. Why would I get different error messages at different times? Hugo. I have the wrong Hugo. So I have the extended version, is what I'm seeing here. I have the extended version, so I don't need to do anything there. I'm getting this error for a different reason. Error building site. Failed to transform. File to import not found or unreadable. And it's users Debian library caches. Hugo mod, modules file cache, Google Doxy. Zero 0.9.1 / assets SCSS main.scss. Functions. SCSS functions not found. Is it because we have a bad release of Doxy? So it's this import that fails. Doxy. File to import not found or unreadable. So, yeah, all right, okay. Uh, npm install. That's what it says here. What if I run Hugo server? No, that doesn't work either. Hugo version. What is the latest Hugo version? This one, 124.1. Is there like no vendor folder? Cannot be found. So we actually haven't updated Hugo, I think is what I just discovered. And it's going to break the next time we do. Is that right? Wait a minute. Build environment, netlify.toml. Netlify.toml Hugo 122. Yes, it is broken. It is broken. That is the answer. Netlify. Hugo. Was broken at 123 or 124? Don't know. Alright, so we have to build a specific version of Hugo. What does it say to do? Beautiful. All right. That was nice diversion. Let's see. Did it work? Will it blend? Most important question. No, does not help. Princess is in a different castle. Alright, so... No, wait, no, we have a different error. No mixin named flat white bottom. Can we download these at the particular version? Oh, indirect. What does that mean? I don't want them to be indirect, though. Do I just remove that indirect flag here? How does this work? See, why does it do that? I don't want it to do that. I don't think that it should do that. Go, upgraded. I didn't ask it to do any of that. Well, this has been amazing. It looks like there's still something wrong. Public JS. This is so strange. Why would it be a different error every time? I don't understand. I'm going to have to install Doxy from scratch. I don't understand at all. What if I way downgrade? I don't have any idea why this is failing. And I'm afraid I'm going to give up rather than accomplish the goal of the stream, which is to integrate a little bit of JavaScript and make some widget, which seems impossible now. I'm demoralized. I think I need a beer. I heard we're going to go get beer today. Yeah, no mixin named flat white button. That does not make any sense. Why would you get this error? I'll tell you what I'm going to do, though. I'm going to follow random how-tos until it just works. Hugo.yaml, Hugo version extended, imports path, Google Docsy, disable false, module source, assets SCSS, target SS SCSS docsy, what is this? This must be what's wrong. Fort Awesome? Where font awesome is made? Oh man. I don't know about this. Is this like the user guide example that shows the bad thing that you have to do without explaining? I don't understand at all. I don't understand at all. Who wrote this baloney? Who wrote it? Rename. What was the file name before? Let's look at that doxy. assets underscore vendor bootstrap SCSS. What do you think? Is that going to do it? There you have it. All right, we're going to try one more thing. We built this isolated Docker environment in which you should also be able to build Hugo and everything, and it should just work. So let's see. Docker push, Docker serve, Docker preview. That's what I want, I think. Here, let's let this finish updating first so we get a nice new Docker. So if it does not work inside of the Docker context, then I will be really worried, because that's hermetic and everything. Whereas my macOS environment, I can kind of excuse for having some weird dependency issue if it turns out to be some weird dependency issue. So let's see. Yeah, so we're pulling a pre-built Hugo support image that has the particular version of Hugo built in it that we need, or that we've defined at least. It might not be the version that we need, but it's the version that we asked for. And we've got all of the Python dependencies hopefully all ready to go, and all of the everything all ready to go, so that when it runs make serve, everything will work. No, cannot run macOS executable in Docker. Exact format error. Of course not. You should not have files in bin when you build a Docker image, I guess. Invalid Go version 121.6 must match format 123. 121. All right, so we're going to have 121 then. So this stuff all doesn't work either. We're going to pick some music to ride us out. I think we're almost done today. It's either going to work or it's going to fail. And either way, we'll be glad that we saw what was the thing. All right, so Hugo support image. Let's see. All right. Well, we solved the mystery at least. I'm not. I'm not comfortable proceeding past this point at all. I feel like we have created more new questions than we've answered. I feel like this is a good place to stop and say websites are too complicated, and if you cannot pay someone to maintain your website, then you should think twice about having one. I don't know what that does for us at the Flux Project, but it is not good news. And it's certainly not good news for all the other websites that we have talked about enhancing or maintaining, unless we can come up with some sort of common framework or thread that we can use to unify them all and make this less painful. This is very painful, and this is the type of work that I do not want to do for free. Y'all listening? No one's listening. All right. Well, that's it for today. I do think we're going to have some kind of hangout music, though. Let's see if we can find some music on YouTube. Pete and Baz, always nice. I don't want to listen to anything like that. I would rather listen to Mao Zedong propaganda music, which is saying a lot. That looks like someone's Bitcoin address, or maybe a base 64 encoded string, possibly. Oh man, YouTube, you're testing me. You're testing me. Is this what music is here? Oh, I bet this is good. We'll listen to this. I haven't heard it yet. Okay. Peace. Since I'm turning the microphone off from here, peace out, y'all. And free Palestine.